Hello, and welcome to this edition of Scott and Cam Talks. Today we're going to discuss the features and benefits of the ZOOK Z-POS and Z-VAC series of rupture discs.
This series of discs is uniquely designed to protect vessels in both directions, or in what we call positive and vacuum directions. Storage vessels and low-strength vessels need both vacuum and positive pressure protection. In other words, both internal and external pressure, all in a single device. We have a typical assembly here on the desk. Now let's take it apart and see how it works.
We've taken apart an assembly to show its individual components. Firstly, we have the inlet. It has two alignment pins designed to align all three components during assembly, and the knife blades. Secondly, we have the rupture disc, which during assembly goes down over the alignment pins to ensure that it's aligned in the assembly. And thirdly, we have the outlet flange, which again goes down over the alignment pins, making sure all three components are in perfect alignment. To hold it all together, we have three pre-assembly tabs, which I'm going to put together here. And lastly, the third one. Now you're able to take the assembly out as a whole to the field for installation.
So now let's see how the disc works. So on the table here in front of me, we have all the typical components of a standard Z-VAC disc. As I mentioned earlier, it's a bi-directional disc, which means it functions in two directions. Let's first talk about the high pressure direction. In other words, when pressure is actually escaping from within the vessel. The disc works as a typical standard composite design. These types of discs have been around for many years, and they basically work with two pieces. First, a thin piece of Teflon provides a seal to stop the transference of pressure from inside out. Secondly, a laser cut control cap is cut that actually is designed to burst or open at an exact point. When it opens, it then allows the Teflon to drive open also. This design has been around and is tried and true and has been around for many, many years. We also supply the disc with what we call a non-rated cap, which is just a support cap to protect the Teflon seal from atmospheric conditions. We also supply it with a support ring, which actually protects the seal around the transition area where it's clamped into the holder itself.
So as Cam said, it's a bi-directional disc. He's talked about how the pressure gets out of the vessel. Let's talk about how it gets into the vessel, or vacuum relief. And that's done by adding a girdle underneath or on the bottom side or the process side of the Teflon, designed to hold the Teflon in place until a certain differential is achieved, whereby the girdle would collapse, allowing the Teflon to go down over very sharp knife blades held into the inlet flange.
Yeah, the disc is basically, in this case, it's actually acting similar to what we call a reverse acting disc. It's placed in compression until the strength or the pressure pushing on the girdle causes it to collapse. The girdle actually collapses in a strong snapping motion, and as you can see in this assembly here, it's actually in perfect alignment with the blades. What happens is, as the Teflon collapses and it snaps through the transition, the blades actually cut the Teflon open, causing relief. An important part of the aspect there is the blades themselves. They must be sharp. Dull blades will actually not cut the Teflon, and it actually, believe it or not, can support the Teflon and actually cause a vessel to implode or provide no relief. So a really important part is the fact that the blades must be sharp. How do you guarantee sharpness? Well, the uniqueness of the ZOOK design is that the blades are actually field replaceable. We do believe we have the sharpest blades in the industry, and because you can field replace them, you can buy replacement blades. There are some plugs that go in here to hold the blade in place, holding the whole assembly in place, and it allows you to maintain sharp blades, which is critical for proper performance. So now let's see how this whole thing works. This burst demonstration shows the disc placed in compression until the pressure pushing on the girdle causes it to collapse. Notice that the girdle is in perfect alignment to the knife blades. As the Teflon collapses, it snaps through the transition and the sharp blades cut the Teflon open, causing pressure relief.
The Z-VAC is designed to provide ultra-low vacuum protection to process vessels. The Z-POS is simply the Z-VAC inverted to provide ultra-low overpressure protection to the same vessel.
All disc and holder components come in stainless steel as standard. However, ZOOK does offer alloys such as Hastelloy for extremely corrosive applications.
Both the Z-POS and Z-VAC designs are available with integral burst indication, so the installation can be monitored remotely.
And the indication can be provided in both the high and low pressure directions. Sizes of 2-inch through 12-inch are standard, and custom fittings all the way up to 16-inch have been made before. Remember, the ZOOK, Z-VAC, and Z-POS, a series of products, are uniquely designed to provide field replacement blades, the only ones on the market.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Scott and Cam Talk.